most about being a woman at Electric Forest, I would say for my personal experience is like how incredibly supported I feel here as a woman and empowered to make a difference and be heard.
My name is Lindsey Stirling, and I think my favorite thing about being a woman at Electric Forest is, first of all, this is my first electronic festival I've ever played at. I just got my first raver bracelets, so I feel like I'm a part. But I think it's really neat that they're bringing to light the fact that, you know, this issue of women in the music industry in general, and giving women a chance to have a voice. And I think it's very empowering for anyone who's a woman here.
Greetings, my name is Nattali Rize, and what I love about being a woman in Electric Forest, well, to be honest, I only just arrived here, so I'm loving this little vibration that's going on right now. I like the concept, I like the intention behind the gathering, and especially appreciate the invitation for just come and share some thoughts and words and energy with you all, so we'll see how it unfolds.
I'm Alicia from Madison House Presents, and what I love about being a woman at Electric Forest is being able to gather all of my best girlfriends and have them here supporting me throughout the weekend. It's a long time coming for me working on this show for, you know, a year, and then to have the culmination of everybody being here together is really special for me.
So I guess I want to begin by just sort of giving a context, a greater context to this conversation about the women, the power of women in festivals, and what we say the rise of the perspective of women. And I really do feel that it's a part of something greater that's happening. Obviously, Electric Forest doesn't exist in a vacuum, and I would be really curious if one of you would like to speak on what you sense is happening on a global level, on a national level, just with the rise of women in our perspective.
It's our sort of time and our duty to be part of those voices and those souls that help to perpetuate it to the next level, so that we can get out of this paradigm which is really stuck in masculine energy and really shift out of that into a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, a new way of living, a new way of being. And that's why music festivals are important, because well and truly we come together for resonate together, you know. And when you break down everything in the world that exists, it breaks right down to the atom, which breaks right down to a vibration, which means that everything is sound. So when we come together like this, we resonate together, and that's an energy. So when we come together and resonate together and talk about things about rebalancing the feminine energy, then that in itself is already sending out the rebalance, you know what I mean? So for me now, I connect all the dots, and I see it. And especially, I guess for me, I'm more sort of my music it crosses over, but I am also part of the reggae genre, and I see it in reggae as well. It's very male-dominated artists, you know, and that's the way it has been for a long time. But now we're seeing more and more female artists come forward, and they're getting that momentum behind them because of the time that we're in, and because it's truly meant to be that we reconnect to the feminine energy and rebalance ourselves as multi-dimensional beings. See?
Beautiful, thank you. And I guess to sort of anchor that more directly into the world of festivals, why is it that this feminine perspective is so needed in the world of festivals? Why can't we just sort of gloss over this? And why is there this sort of movement, I guess, that's needed?
Sure, I'll take it. Because I think half of our population here is young females. And, you know, a lot of people, not just Lindsay's first time at an electronic music festival, but it's a lot of young women's first time at an electronic music festival. And most people are coming here with a group of friends that's probably led by a male in a lot of senses, or coming with a guy, or being brought in by a group of, you know, men. And so opening them up to the other women that have experience here and have been in festival culture for a long time, or been going to shows, or, you know, just welcoming those people that are new, I think is really important.
So if you were to think of what your vision would be what would you change? What would you make new? What would you create?
Well, I think an important thing is that I think a lot of times women, we kind of perpetuate this same stigma and the stereotype in a way of like a lot of women are almost afraid to have female openers open for them because they almost want the association of having being a part of this male-dominated society of music, and and it goes all the way back to even I know that a lot of women say, oh, I don't have girlfriends because I just hang out with boys, and I think that there's this stigma that we women actually put upon ourselves that women aren't cool. And I think that's really sad. Personally, I my girlfriends are my closest friends, and and there was actually a study done about the need for women to have feminine interaction, and that if you don't have feminine interaction, it's just as detrimental to your health as smoking, or it had this list of all these other things that are obviously we all accept as bad for our health, but yet feminine energy, just kind of going back to what you were talking about at the beginning, it's part of our chemical makeup. We need it. And that's why it's so important for women, not only in a social circumstance to start it there, but to carry it into business and into art and into music and into festivals and make it, an important part of creating a culture. And I think that women are the ones, a lot of times we think that it's kind of projected onto us, but I think we project it onto ourselves and each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that. And what I see is that really it can be one woman who decides to be different, and it starts an entirely different vibe in her community, in her camp, and that there's power in that to just show up as we wish someone was showing up for us and to carry that forward. I like what you said, Lindsey, about the need, almost like on a physiological level, like for the balance of our bodies, to spend time with women. And a big part of the conversation that we're having about the rise of women in festivals is how we can make this inclusive to our male counterparts and include the men in this, while also recognizing that as we're balancing and bringing the balance of the feminine, that there is this need for us to come together just with ourselves. So how do you suggest that we do that, or how do you think that we include men in the conversation and also help them understand that it's not that we're trying to be exclusive necessarily, but there is this sort of like this part of the restoring the balance is coming together just as ladies? Any ideas there?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you can lead by example, like you said, just by showing up and being something sets a different energy in the area around you. And as far as including men goes, you just include them and see, with the right intention and the right vibration, you can see how that works. For me now, I think that what I'd like to see in festivals is more recognition and connection to the indigenous culture of the land where the festivals are, because what we see around the world is indigenous women reclaiming their power, their sovereignty, their responsibility as caretakers for the land, for the future, for environment, for their communities. And we know that when the women in a community decide to take action and stand up for something, the whole community follows, and if that doesn't happen, if the women aren't on side, then the guys have a much harder time getting shit done. See, so for me, I would, and I think that it's important to recognize that festivals are an opportunity. They're an opportunity to create a reality that is different to the one that we have in society. Instead of being a reflection of the society we have outside of these gates, it's an opportunity to create a new society, a new culture, a new conscious culture, a new connected culture within. Because really, when you're in festivals like this, we all feel a certain amount of freedom. No one's working for Babylon while they're here, and that is fucking awesome. And that is why I love festivals, because for one, it's music that brings us together, of course. We don't even know yet how potent music is and what it really does to us. We don't understand that yet, how much it affects us. We all know we love it, so we come to festivals and enjoy it. But there's more to it than that. And when we get together like this, and with the right intention, truly to create a new concept, a new way of being, including women, whether it's this, whether it's acknowledging Indigenous people, that then we carry out with us out into the system, and that will change the system bit by bit. So I really think that it's important to acknowledge the opportunity that we have as a conscious community to create a new world. Yeah.
I absolutely love what you're saying about this sort of being a microcosm, a little world where we really have the freedom to create a culture, a movement, a norm, a new way of being that we can carry out into the world. I remember when I was a young girl how much coming to festivals affected my perception of what life could be like. What the possibilities are. I mean, you go into a place like the forest and you see the incredible amount of creativity. Oh my gosh, like I thought my path forward was through, the corporate ladder. And so we really have the chance to redefine some things. I would love to know, what would you like to become a new norm? A new normal that you would love for both the women and the men to carry with them from the festival experience out into the world, that is sort of planting that seed of change for positive.
Hannah's here.
Yay, Hannah's joining us.
Sure. So I think, we're doing it right now. And I think part of what I love most about, the Electric Forest community is that when we were, just even thinking about creating this program, which I first want to give props to Darcy Schneider over here, who's really pushed this forward and brought Kiki, in, and we've been kind of thinking about this for a long time, is the power of the self-regulation of this Electric Forest community. When we launched it online, it wasn't about making a women's only thing, and anybody who had anything, off kilter to say about it really got shut down by the entire community, men and women alike, which I think was just the beginning of what it could actually turn into on site and how it's going to grow. I don't remember your initial question.
Totally. And maybe we can even continue to build upon it. And Hannah, you can feel free to join in as well. Do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Sure. Hi. Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm the yogi. A lot of you just came from class. I'm so glad you're here. I'm not sure what the question was. But
So yeah, for all the people that just joined us as well, we're talking about what is a new norm that we would like to instate here for amongst the women, amongst the community, in this theme of sort of empowering women. What is something that we'd like to become a new norm that happens here on site at Electric Forest that then everyone can carry out with them into the world and sort of plant that seed of possibility and change?
Well, I mean, from a spiritual perspective, from my perspective, you can't really deny it. The divine feminine is rising. So, and that's part of all of us. It's not just, we all hold the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine within us, but the pendulum has really moved over to the masculine side for a few thousand years, right? But it's starting to move towards the feminine. And I see it in this festival in little ways. Just having yoga and having beautiful, like the group hug and all these things that are really about receptivity, right? So the lunar, the feminine quality is about that receptive, reflective quality. And then the masculine is more of the really active and engaged. And we need both, right? But I love to see that there are these ways that it's like just mindful, reflective parts of the festival. Because we're all here because we want to feel more alive, right? Isn't that essentially why we come to a festival? And so if we have all of the action and all of the engagement, that we need that, but we also need those moments of receptivity, of moving inward. And that's really, to me, what the feminine means. I'm not sure if that had anything to do with your question.
It's all good.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think I was actually going in that direction when I started talking, but then I forgot. But just kind of moving back to new norms, and is creating this community that is open to developing a program with us and telling us what they want and allowing us to then, interpret that and try and give it to them. I think that's really important. That's what we've tried to do from the beginning of the festival with other things, programming and, other new norms I'd like to see is not saying, well, how many women are on the lineup, or trying to, pick it out. You see festival like posters online coming up where they, count all the female. And yeah, we know it's unbalanced. And I think that, just trying to bring that into a new normal and having, females here like Nattali, like Lindsey, like Hannah, like Sarita, who's going to be performing this weekend. There's a lot of women out there, and they are going to, they're coming into festival culture all the time. So I don't think it's about picking them out and saying, why don't we have more? Why is there so many? There's not so many women. It's just music. So.
Absolutely. I want to speak a little bit to the fact that all the ladies that are on this stage have worked incredibly hard to arrive to this place, and there's no way that we get to where we are in life alone. And a big principle of the feminine and feminine leadership is community and support and sharing. In contrast to maybe the idea that we do it all alone and we're separate, and that quest for ultimate independence and not needing to rely on anyone. And I think that you really feel that vibe of community here and how much we come together and what gets done when we do come together. So I would love for you, somebody to say to, especially the women in the audience that maybe see themselves in a future creative career or, a yoga path, or would love to be involved in the music industry in some capacity. What really helped you get to where you were? What was some form of support, or was there, somebody that helped you along the way? Maybe speak to how you got to where you are with the help of the support system around you.
Speaking of how you started with community, that is how I got anything, and that's how I definitely got my start, was collaborating with other people. And when I first started, trying to figure out the music biz and how I could get my stuff seen, it was all kind of about like, what can I do? But I actually got my start through YouTube. Finally, when something worked, it was because I started putting videos online, and I discovered this wonderful community on YouTube where people work together, and the more you work together, the more everybody rose together, and it was like this amazing little utopia of the web. And it was this gold mine that I found, where the more I collaborated and the more I worked as a team with the community there, we all rose. And it really changed the way I thought about this kind of cutthroat music industry and like every man for themselves. And I am so glad I discovered that early, because one, it's the only reason I'm here today, and secondly, it kept me from becoming very jaded and bitter, I guess, about like I said, this industry and how people always perceive it, and really I feel like I owe all my success to that. And still, having the more places I go with my career and my music, I'm realizing more and more it's all about the people around you that keep you sane. Life changes every day, something new is happening, we're in a different place. But I honestly would probably hate touring if I didn't have the best people with me. I love touring. There's nothing I would rather do than tour, and it's because the community that I tour with, and we all have the opportunity to kind of create our own world and our own community in our own creative sphere, as we pick the people that we want to work with, we want to be with. And I think it's so important to remember that we always do have a choice in who we work with, and you don't have to settle for this because it's at your fingertips and it's what's there. But like, really, if whatever you're doing, whether you want to be in the music business or just go to festivals, or whatever you're doing, seek out the kind of people in the community that you want to be with, because whether it's professionally or personally, it's made all the difference to me.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's sort of the main advice I give people when they ask about wanting to become a musician or starting out. And it's really relationships, and it does come down to that. It comes down to your connection to the people you work with, and are they the right people for you? Are you the right person for them? For me now, I started out as a street performer. I played drums on the street in Australia, and so my support network was my actual community that would come and see me perform on the streets, and then a whole bunch of tourists would go through a town called Byron Bay on the east coast of Australia. But to have in a small town where everyone knows you because you're playing really loud on the middle of the street most nights, and then to receive the love and support from that community, they really own me and my career in a sense. They're very proud people, and so that energy you get from support from others is really what makes the difference. And for anyone starting out who wants to see themselves or in the music industry, it's really that thing where there's no rules, it's a new world of music industry. It's anything you can think of, you can do. Anything you can think of, you can create. Anything, you can create can inspire someone, and really make those connections with the people that resonate with you and have a similar vision, because the vision is everything, because that's what propels you forward to the next level. When you reach that, you need a next level. When you reach that, you want the next thing to keep going. So just remember that, the people you link with become your family, and they become a part of the team and a part of the mission. And the mission will not be successful unless you have those willing soldiers with you. And when you do, you can fly. So just look forward to that. Yeah.
Can I say something about that?
Yeah, that's really incredible. And I just want to say that I see that, which is why we're here. Back to Alicia's point of that she gets to come to this festival and be surrounded by her girls that are making this happen. Like, that's why we're here today in large part. And that mindset that might be actually a little foreign to us as women, to surround ourselves with a community of women with whom we can share our ideas and our vision, or to even have a vision. And I think that's really, I want to just make sure that point is brought home for all of you ladies in the audience in terms of what Her Forest is all about. This is your opportunity to collaborate on a vision together, on a mission to support each other, to really be a part of something that is greater than yourself, and in a community of women who will support you in making that sky's the limit magic happen. And there's not a lot of places in the world that are asking you to tap into the depths of who you are and decide what you want. How much of the world is asking you to fall in line and do what you're told, and your shoulds, and be this, don't be too that, don't be too sexy, don't be too beautiful, don't be too smart, don't be too stupid. This is a chance for you to tap in and actually be a part of that vision and that mission that you would like to create, and to meet your people. So yeah, I needed to bring that home.
Well, I kind of forgot what I was going to say, but pretty much ditto what both of you beautiful women said, because it's, yoga is a little bit different because, well, hopefully it's different. Yoga means union, so hopefully we're collaborating and we're helping each other out. But really, we hear so much in the media about that we live in this culture where the youth in our culture where is all me, and everyone's a narcissist. And have you guys read like that? You read that all the time now. And I just want to prove everybody wrong, right? You with me? And I pretty much, when I think about collaboration, or how did you get where you are, or how can you help someone else out? I just remembered a quote by the Dalai Lama. He's, said a couple of them, good ones, right? So this one where he says, be kind whenever possible. It's always possible. That's it.
So cheers to the Dalai Lama.
Cheers to the Dalai Lama. Kindness. It works.
To what Kiki said, I haven't known Kiki for that long, but I've known her for a couple of years throughout the festival, kind of circuit through mutual friends. But 10 years ago, I was camping at Bonnaroo, and I was an assistant at Madison House, and one of my best friends, Lindsey, was an assistant at another agency in LA, and we were just camping at Bonnaroo and ran into each other and met And 10 years later, we're here, and she's a boss, and I'm a boss. And it's really special to come up with your girlfriends.
Awesome. So rad.
You know, kind of in line with what you guys are talking about, and I forget what you said. You said something about, someone said something about proving people wrong, or proving, and I think it's, I actually texted, I don't know if anyone knows who Lizzie Hale is, but she is amazing. She's one of the top, like, she's in a very male-dominated part of the music industry. She's a hard rock vocalist and the female frontwoman for a band. And I just asked her, kind of like, what are your thoughts on this? And she said, you know, I try not to look at it in that way, this like men versus women domination thing, you know, or being dominated in this sphere or not. But she said, I have so many female friends that are killing it right now, that are just killing it in the industry, and whether or not it's recognized, or, you know, she's like, they are doing amazing things, and whether the industry sees it or not, she's like, people see it, and people's lives are being changed by it. And it's kind of exciting to be a part of a time when things are changing, and when, you know, whether everyone sees it or not, or just some people are seeing it, the change is happening, and it's really exciting to be a part of it. And all of us, every single person in this room, male, female, whatever, we all have a chance to be a part of this shift. And you know, there is definitely changes happening. My management company is mostly run by women, and you know, my tour, we have most of the performers on the tour are women, and there is a definite, like, I used to not have that. I used to have mostly men you know, on stage with me, and there's definitely a different energy and excitement that comes from being surrounded by, I call them my girls. And but you know, it is an amazing time to live in when we get to be a part of a change, and it almost gives me a little more like motivation to go out and do great things.
Hell yeah. So maybe you guys are starting to pick up on a little theme here, that like the women that are kicking ass and like and doing it their way are tapping into their own ideas and surrounding themselves with a community that supports them. And I think this is just really important to bring home, again in the theme of Her Forest, but to really sort of combat this old, outdated idea that like whatever, women aren't cool, it's cooler to be a guy's girl, women are, you know, catty, and to start to really throw those out of the window and start to see each other, look at other women in the eye, and see something in them that you can see in yourself. You know, a little inkling of the soul, that person in them that wants to be a part of something, that part of them that wants to be included. The part of them that actually has something to give back to the world, because as you can see, you can really rise and do it your way when you surround yourself with a community of people who believe in you and who support you and get you. And so I really want to sort of maybe even open it up to some of you guys in the audience to let us know how you could feel more supported.
I work in event production in New York, and I'm wondering how you guys combat the male energy that is often around you. Because there's a lot of times where, as a short woman, even more so, you get sort of looked down upon. And I'm, you know, higher up in the event production, but I still have to deal with that. And I'm wondering how you guys sort of face-to-face combat that energy.
Yeah, I just walk straight up to it and just, what's up? Like, like really, like we talk about seeing, you know, seeing each other, seeing another woman and recognizing yourself in that woman, recognizing you're part of that species. But really it's about recognizing each other as energy and seeing each other irrelevant of your physical form, because your physical form is only temporary. Really it's your spirit and that will live on. When you know yourself and you see another woman, I've seen women who are just so solid, rock solid. The biggest trucky dude anyone you can think of could not penetrate her, you know? And so when you see that, you go, wow, yeah, I'm gonna do that too. And so, yeah, man, just know yourself and you'll know the rest.
My add-on to that comment would also be to spend time with other women, because that that actually resets you. It re-anchors you in that thing that is you, and then you can carry that beautiful essence that you are out into the world regardless of who is there to receive it. Yeah, thank you so much. We have another one.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much, each and every one of you, for coming here, doing this, inspiring all of us. I mean, this is a magical place. I've been here every year for every day. This is my 5th forest. First time in the good life, though. Worth every penny. Worth every penny and every hour that it takes to make that penny. Seriously. But no, each and every one of you has inspired everyone here, and everyone who's going to be watching this, so thank you guys. And I just think that this is the most magical place, like exactly like you guys are saying. Like, there's so much creativity happening here. There's so many artists who come here to just experience, we just met 5 minutes ago at yoga, and Hannah, I mean, you changed my life last year. I wrote all over your Facebook and shit. You probably think I'm a weird, but you changed my life last year in yoga, and I've been doing yoga for a year now, and it's changed my fucking life, seriously. Sorry for my cursing, but but for real, just I want to thank you all, because I do understand, I'm one of the few guys in this crowd.
You should turn around because there's actually 50-50 men and women here. Yeah. So,
That's right.
In the front, yeah.
Let's get a hand for all the guys who showed up. Thank you.
Woo!
We love you. We need you.
Kiki.
Yes, love.
Hi folks, this might be a little bit off topic, but it is something that I've been observing, and it's something that actually I'm doing a dissertation, and this is one element of the study that I'm performing. But on personal side story, on more than 2 occasions, not in the forest, at other festivals, I have been threatened with sexual violence. Simply stating hey, would you quiet down? They're like, oh, you're camping alone. You need some company? And I'm like, no, actually I'm fine. And they're like, no, we're going to give you some company. And outrightly coming and kicking trees down and be like, we're raping the forest. And I'm like, guys, that's not cool. As a survivor of sexual violence, this is not an okay thing to be saying, an okay thing to be doing, to the point where they were making rape statements to my face, screaming at me. How do we make the festival environment a very safe space? Because ultimately we're here to express ourselves, we're here to unify ourselves, we're here to belong to a family, more or less, our forest family. How do we make that a safe space for people like me, for more than 1 in 4 women who have experienced sexual violence? How can we together, men, women, non-gender binary, conforming, how can we do that?
I think that that's a really important question, and I think that's one that Kiki and I have been talking about actually in the past couple days. What is it that you guys want? What would make you feel comfortable? What would make you feel safe? What would make you want to come to this festival with just your girlfriends? And is it, a women's campground? Is it a women's tent? Is it a place where if you get separated from your friends, you can go and meet up, and you can meet another woman that got separated from her friends, and you guys can go out together? So I think that we're super open to hearing whatever that is and making it happen for you.
It made me think now just at some of the protests that I go to, there's human rights monitors that walk around and keep an eye on and make sure the police aren't, abusing human rights. And I just now thought, well, maybe at festivals like this you could have a female rights officer, or, someone like some people were in a very obvious outfit, or that you just know, say you see them, and if something has happened or you think something has happened, you can alert them, and that would set into gear whatever foundation or resources they have given to them to make sure that doesn't happen. Maybe that's one idea.
Well, let me actually ask you a follow-up question, because I think that's a really important topic. Do you feel that when something like that happens, do you feel like you have somewhere to go to tell anybody? Okay.
There you go.
So maybe that's a first step, is just somewhere to go to report that it's happening, because yeah, man, and just the existence of that place and that being a known thing to the entire festival community is going to change the way people think. If men who are prone to that are going to see on signs, if this happens to you, come and see this person, they're going to think about, okay, well, there's actually some sort of enforcement and I need to, watch myself. People are conscious of that. So that is
That must happen. Get a place today. You know what I mean? That must happen.
And I think that we've been in the forest sort of collecting ideas from you guys, the fans, on what you would like for her forest. And there's been some great ideas in terms of, again, like the women's only camping area that's like a big sleepover that, you know, it can be a safe space for you to go and rest your head at night and also build the community. And another is sort of, you know, really making a conscious effort to promote this concept of brotherhood and sisterhood. And sort of, again, like going back to that idea of creating new norms of behavior, and maybe that we actually can engage some of the men who also believe in protecting and supporting their women to sort of also be on our sides, to be on the lookout for that kind of thing and make it cool for them to, you know, to feel comfortable taking a stand. Because I know a lot of people that have been coming to us have been saying, I don't want to be a bitch, I don't want to make him feel bad, I don't want to make him feel rejected or things like that. And so it's a really touchy subject. Thank you so much for saying so.